Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It is time for my Damien recap. So to recap on tonight's episode, it left off where we left off of last week with Greta's failed exorcism, and it failed because it actually unleashed the beast, and Damien and Simone escaped, and Anne is grieving over the loss of Veronica. I mean, anybody would be in that situation. I mean, that was her daughter, and she brings her to the room where she was dying, and Amani is telling Anne that this is all your fault. You put her up to this, and I'm like, Amani, keep it zipped. I mean, her daughter just died, and Anne asked to have a minute alone with her, and she cries over Veronica and says, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. And it was actually heartbreaking to see that, because, Anne's one of my favorite characters, and, someone close to her like that dies. It's heartbreaking to watch. But Lyons is trying to figure out where Rutledge is, and he goes into the room where Veronica and Anne are, and sees, that Veronica's dead, and he promises her that the nun will pay. And I gotta give Anne some credit. I am very impressed with how, she was devastatingly crying one minute, and the next minute she gets up and basically I'm impressed by the way she's able to put herself together that quickly. I mean, she was down, but she got herself back up. So they go and get the nun who was wounded by Damien last week, and I believe that it was Anne who got the nun, and that mama is definitely furious. She was like going all mama bear on this nun that she killed her cub, and she assures her that she'll pay, and she takes her into the room where Veronica was dying, and she says that, I believe Greta says something to Anne about that something like that, I'll stop you, and she's like, Anne says, oh please, you'll be dead by by sunrise. She said, you'll be dead by sunrise. I'm like, ooh, she is so sassy. And Anne brought up some very valid points, because she said to Greta how God has killed thousands and thousands over, mentioned his complete ignorance. But then she mentions how hers only killed 10. So I'm wondering if what she means by that 10 is the 10 that we saw died in the series. And meanwhile, Lyons is trying to find out where Damien is, because now that the beast has been awoken, they need to help Damien. And Lyons he talks to Amani, and he threatens Amani's family if he doesn't tell where Damien is, and he honestly doesn't know. But Rutledge and Lyons bring Greta and Amani to the graveyard where the exorcism took place, and Greta looks in the grave, and she sees that all of her nuns and fellow followers that had a hand in Veronica's death and the exorcism are all dead in the grave. And Lyons says that Amani has to put Greta in the ground, and he won't do it. But Lyons says that if he doesn't, he'll make sure that his family when they buy bread the next morning, I guess they usually do, that'll be the last time they ever do that. So Amani goes to throw Greta in the grave, but then all of a sudden Lyons shoots Amani, and Anne tries to stop him, which I found was quite interesting. Like, why would Anne try to stop him? And I believe is that, she really does love and care about Damien, and she doesn't want any more pain to come to Damien that already has. Damien and Simone go back to the place where Pal used to live before he died, and I find it interesting that Damien is trusting Simone when Simone had a key role in, you know, his exorcism, and they go in there and, you know, Simone helps him clean up because he's got all those cuts and everything on them. And she says that if this is the apocalypse, that she's gonna stick by Damien, that she's in this with him. And it seems like a lot of people are for Damien. I mean, even before Simone and Damien got to the trailer, they went to, I guess, carjack this car, and this girl was seriously fangirling over Damien, Bradley James. She's like, "It's all for you, Damien. It's all for you. It's all for you." And she almost throws herself off a bridge, for crying out loud. I'm like, holy cow, she's seriously a huge fan of Damien. But Simone is basically telling Damien to not give in to the dark power he has, and Damien is just, I think he's kind of like processing everything that's going on. He's like wondering, like, where do I go from here? Like, who can I really trust? I mean, he's even still got Shay after him. He's still on his tail, and we think that at one point you see his son come in the middle of the road, and he hits him with his car, and it turns out it wasn't his son, and it was just it was one of the demons, I believe, that we've seen a lot of the episodes. But Lyons and Rutledge are trying to scramble together to find out where Damien is, and Lyons knows that, you know, Anne knows Damien well, and asks, like, where could he be? And says, I have no idea. And when Lyons says to burn the place down, which I assume is the church, she's like, I know where he is. And they all get their crew together and go to where he is. But at that very scene, this was very spooky, because where the grave is, where everyone was buried, you see a hand pop out. I'm like, oh my god, that is like really creepy, and it makes me more curious because it doesn't clarify whose hand it was. I mean, it could have been Greta's. I mean, I know Amani, for what we saw, is dead, but who knows, it still could be him. But before I talk more, I found Anne had a great one-liner tonight when she was talking to Greta when they're discussing assassins, and she says that Greta mentions that she's a reporter, and Anne says, reporters bring paper and pencils, assassins bring knives. I'm like, and again, a valid point. So Damien at the trailer wakes up Simone and tells him that he's gonna go to Makito, which we all know that's where the seven knives originate from, and Simone says, I'm with him. But it's very creepy because you see that old lady watching him that we've seen in the episodes, like in all the pictures that he's taken, and Shay is coming there with his cop car, and Armitage and their crew, and Simone and Damien run off into the forest. I mean, this is like advanced laser tag. Like, it was really fun to watch, and they run into the woods, and I believe that Armitage's people, it looked like they shot Shay to me, but apparently he was fine, and they still run, and they run until they see Lyons and Rutledge, and Damien says, what is all this? I thought you would never hurt me. And Anne assures him, saying that I would never hurt you, Damien, here to protect you. And she mentions how Lyons killed Amani, and how she tried to stop him, and all of a sudden you see the Rottweiler appear, and that he chases after lions, and the hellhounds basically maul lions to death. So I'm wondering, was that the what the hellhounds doing that, or was that Damien controlling them? Because Damien did have a power there at Pal's house when he um almost killed Simone with all the, I guess it was locusts and everything flying around her. But you see that Shay was going to shoot Damien, but he actually shoots Simone in the head, and Simone's dead, and Damien is devastated, and he's like, I'll do whatever you guys want, just please save her, please save her. And you see the old lady coming up to him, and he's like, I give, and suddenly Simone comes back to life, and I'm like, Armitage might regret that, because Simone, again, I don't think can be trusted, and after all, she's done to Damien. And all of a sudden um, you see Rutledge with these two knives, and as Damien stands up, they all bow to him, even including Shay, which was kind of shocking. And you see Damien with his like red face. I don't know if his face was turning that way or if that was Simone's blood on him, but he just looks at the camera and it ends there. So this was definitely an awesome episode. I love this series. I am so glad I gave Damien a chance, because it is so well written and it has such amazing actors. There has been speculation whether Damien has been canceled or Damien has been renewed for a second season. Hasn't been confirmed or denied yet, but I'm definitely hoping that A&E gives Damien a chance like we all did. I mean, I know a lot of you guys are fans too. I definitely want to know where the series goes from here. I definitely want to see if how Damien's gonna come into his power, like how he's gonna accept his power and what exactly he's gonna do with it. And I'm curious to see, now that Shay bowed down to him, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen to him, like if he's gonna be a follower of Damien, or is he gonna leave his family, if Simone's gonna be in trouble with Armitage, or will she be seen as a trusted follower. What I'm most curious about is to see more about Anne Rutledge, because she's awesome. Barbara Hershey does a fantastic job playing Anne Rutledge. Like, she's definitely in control. I mean, you saw that tonight. You've seen that in all the episodes. You saw Lyons always like to think that he was running everything, but you saw tonight how he went running like a baby, and Anne just stood there, and I believe there was like 3 hellhounds just laid beneath them. Like, see, they all bow to their master. They all do what the master says. And it seems like that Anne's always had Damien's best interests at heart, and she's always done everything for Damien. Like, for all we don't know if she's his biological mom yet, but she surely did raise him. She protected him and loved him like a mother would, even if it was in the shadows. So I'm curious to see where Damien and Anne's relationship will go, if Damien still sees Anne as an enemy, or does he finally see that Anne can be trusted and that Anne is there for him. Anne's can be a loyal servant of the Antichrist. So please, 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 A&E, give Damien a season 2. Not only a season 2, but give them as many seasons as possible, because this series is amazingly good. I love it. I'm sure many Damien fans love it. I definitely cannot wait for more. If you guys want to see more Damien, if you want to see Damien have a season 2, use the hashtag on Twitter, RenewDamien, and show the cast and crew our love and support by tweeting them too and still using the hashtag. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's Damien. I hope that it gets renewed and we get to see more. So, like, subscribe, and remember, stay regal, and it's all for you. And hashtag renew Damien.